Me either to do it or not. Hashtag chalk toss. Hashtag chalked out. LeBron stopped using it before every game in the 2011 playoffs. Perhaps he wants to bring it back traditionally. You guys may remember, Skip, you often discuss this on the show, that he received or did the chalk toss as an, I guess some type of honor to one Michael Jordan, his idol.
Pay homage.
Who knows, yes. But let me ask you a question, and I don't know. What does this say or not say about LeBron?
It says a lot. But before I answer that question, let me remind our viewers who are fairly new to the show, I talked at length about LeBron as he came out of high school, and I thought it was preposterously presumptuous for LeBron James at age 18 or 19 to choose to wear number 23, Michael Jordan's number, and to borrow or to carry on the tradition of the powder toss, which was Michael Jordan's tradition that he started with the Chicago Bulls. Some people say, well, he might have been paying homage to KG, who also did it. Michael started it, and you cannot tell me that LeBron James was not convinced at that point that he had next, that he was the next Michael Jordan. Okay, God bless, young man, but you are going to heap pressure on yourself to live up to the number 23, as in MJ. And that pressure got so great that LeBron James ultimately in Cleveland crumbled under the pressure he heaped on himself with 23, powder toss, and tattoo on the back that said chosen one. Again, he is a great player, but that was unfair what he did to himself. So I want it on the record, I was against the powder toss to begin with.
Okay.
And for the record, LeBron continued it when he went to Miami that first year, 2010, going into the 2011 playoffs. But abruptly in the 2011 playoffs, the first time around with the new Heat, the Heatles, LeBron abruptly stopped the powder toss, and I thought that was wise on his part, because why recreate that same kind of pressure? Now, back to Kerry's opening question, I think it was a shrewd move this time to leave it up to my fans on Twitter, says King James, because you're taking some of the pressure off LeBron to choose to carry on the powder toss. So now if LeBron says, oh, my fans voted for me to go ahead with the powder toss, then it's their fault. They did it. It's not my, don't look at me. I'm just doing what my fans asked me to do. And again, I think that's a cop-out way out of this, but it's a shrewd move because it does give LeBron an excuse and a way out if it somehow backfires on him and pressure gets too intense this year. But will we ever know what the exact results were of a Twitter poll that LeBron is conducting? Okay. No, we won't. Well, I mean, how can we ever know the exact numbers?
But I'm still not clear. What does this say about him, who he is?
Well, he's a shrewd operator, and I'm sure with the help of his highly intelligent advisors, they said, well, if you're thinking about doing it, how about if we put it off on the fans? And we could say they wanted it, so we gave them what they wanted. It's a nice way out. It's an excuse to me. Your thoughts, Mr. Smith?
Always reaching, man. I mean, you are just absolutely amazing when it comes to this man. I mean, I'm just waiting. I mean, when are you going to get on him for his hairline? I mean, you get on me about mine. When are you going to get on him about his?
About his hairline.
I'm just saying that's about the only thing you've never said a word about pertaining to him. I mean, I've heard you criticize his wardrobe. I mean, you might criticize what he does you might criticize what he does in warm-ups, for crying out loud. I mean, you just never stop. It's unbelievable. But I will say this. LeBron is a shrewd operator. There's no question. So is his camp. This is what they do. They're very smooth with it, very slick with it. I'm not knocking them because they're all about business, and anything you can find a way to monetize, so be it. The more Twitter followers you build, the more potent you become, the more you'll be able to monetize your brand in a variety of ways. And trust me when I tell you, LeBron is constantly thinking about that. The boy's aspiration is to be a billionaire. It's no secret what he's after, and he's on his way to doing it. So I'm not going to knock him. I'm not going to fault him for it. The only thing that I would say is I'm not into duplicitous behavior. I don't get caught up in all of that. To me, you know good and damn well it ain't about what Twitter followers want. It's about what the fans in Cleveland want, because you're back in Cleveland. So I would attach more authenticity, more validity to it from a heartfelt perspective if indeed he asked the Cleveland fans what they wanted. But the reality is that he doesn't, because Cleveland wants what they've always got from LeBron on top of a championship. Outside of the championship, which is the only thing new, what they want from LeBron is exactly what he brought them before. Everything that comes with LeBron, because they loved and idolized him and adored him and never wanted him to leave. So that's what it is. He knows good and damn well they want and expect that powder toss when he comes to the scorer's table tonight right before the game. They fully expect him to do what he used to do. They don't want something new. He knows that. All of this stuff is, again, just shrewd operating because it brings attention to his brand, and that's how he makes the money that he makes and does the things that he does, because he's LeBron. He can do that.
Were you okay with LeBron James in his first year in Cleveland in the National Basketball Association powder tossing the way Michael Jordan always did in Chicago?
I never noticed that Michael Jordan powder tossed like that in terms of throwing it up in the air. I know he put it on his hands and clapped his hands together. In terms of throwing it up like that, I never paid attention to it. I didn't know that Michael Jordan did actually that. I was focused on his game as opposed to the powder toss. But I'm telling you right now, with LeBron, LeBron is more than welcome to do whatever he wants to do. I mean, if he wanted to put those expectations on himself, I think, Skip, the hard part about it that I have a difficult time in terms of what you do when you critique him in this way is you hold stuff like that against him when he was 17, 18 years of age. You know what I'm saying? He's a young kid. He was King James, and he's pointing to his individual skill set. We know it takes a team to win, but when he was talking about when Sports Illustrated had him as the chosen one and was making all of this noise about his abilities, he was basically showing you that he had every intent to live up to his ability. But Michael Jordan can't win a championship by himself. No player can, and he had to learn that the hard way. But to hold it against a 17 or 18-year-old kid for making childish decisions like that, I think is a bit. I just wouldn't do it. That's just me.
Well, I would, because he
we know you
played
would.
himself
You
the
have.
chosen one. He's on the cover of Sports Illustrated. And by the way, I was there in Chicago, sitting courtside, or I should say baseline side, since we were seated along the baseline, and I observed on a nightly basis Michael Jordan doing the powder toss. Not with the showmanship that LeBron did it, but he did it as a ritual with the team broadcasters at courtside every night. It's something he started that LeBron adopted, and you cannot tell me that LeBron wasn't sending a message to the NBA. I'm here. I'm the next
But
MJ.
I'm not denying that. I'm not denying that. What I'm saying to you is that when you're 17 or 18 years of age, and by the way, you didn't ask to be put on the cover of Sports Illustrated, that was a choice that they made to do. The fact of the matter is what you're doing is laying claim to what you're going to be as an individual. I am not trying to say that LeBron James wasn't trying to put the message out there that he was going to be an heir apparent. Here he comes. I'm trying to say a 17 or 18-year-old kid was thinking about what he was going to do as an individual, completely oblivious to what it would require and what it would entail on the part of a team to accomplish the ultimate goals that Michael Jordan accomplished. I'm saying LeBron was focused on the individual. And as a 17 or 18-year-old, I don't understand how you can't understand that.
So Skip responds to you, LBJ. He's hashtag chalked out, I think. You are chalked out on it?
I'm chalked out.
Okay. Skip said, Stephen A.
You could write it on the chalkboard for me.
Yeah, you're done with it. All right, so here's a question for you guys at home. Should King James bring